News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Cracking down on Sham Cancer Charities. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Wednesday, May 20th, 2015. A beautiful morning in western Montana. Clear, 47 degrees. It's going to be a great day in western Montana. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. The state of Montana is joined with all the other 49 states, the District of Columbia, and the Federal Trade Commission to crack down on 4 sham cancer charities. I spoke with Montana Attorney General Tim Fox yesterday. He said nationwide, generous contributors have been built out of millions to organizations like the Cancer Fund of America, Cancer Support Services, the Children's Cancer Fund, and the Breast Cancer Society.
And what we learned was that very little of the approximately $187 million that were donated to one or more of those charities in the period from 2008 to 2012 actually was put to use to help cancer victims.
One tactic used by these sham cancer charities is to pressure the victim into donating on the phone using a credit or debit card, which gives the perpetrator access to account numbers.
If Montanans have any questions about how they should go about studying a charity before they donate, they can contact our Office of Consumer Protection. It's on the internet on our website at dojmt.gov.
Fox says Montanans have to do their homework before donating to any charity. One of the nation's largest insurance companies has agreed to pay a $95,000 fine and rebate dozens of Montanans to resolve a dispute with the Office of Montana Insurance Commissioner Monica Lindeen, which alleged the company was shortchanging Montana auto accident victims. Chief Legal Counsel Jesse Laslovich said Safeco is playing the numbers using a tactic called comparative negligence.
With comparative negligence, they're able to assess fault on the consumer a certain percentage. So, for example, if they're in an accident, they'd say, okay, you're 25% responsible, so we're reducing your claim by 25%.
Safeco agreed with Lindeen's office, paid the fine, and reimbursed Montana policyholders.
Obviously, they felt that there was some exposure there, which is why they paid a fairly large fine of $95,000 and then refunded money back to the 15 families that we identified were taken advantage of.
Laslovich said the company will now be very closely monitored in the future to ensure the practice doesn't occur again. First Interstate Bank and its insurer are suing each other over who gets to pay a defunct Missoula logging company its $24.5 million verdict upheld by a state judge back in April. The Missoulian reports that Kelly Logging went out of business after its bank seized stimulus money from its checking account to repay a loan that was not in default. The company sued First Interstate Bank, and a jury awarded a verdict and a punitive fees of nearly $17 million. First Interstate appealed and lost. District Judge Ed McLean tacked on $7.5 million more for attorney's fees. The bank then sued its insurer for the entire $24.5 million when a Columbia casualty refused to pay. The countersuit says First Interstate Bank's policy doesn't cover, quote, deliberate, fraudulent, end quote, acts. Interior Secretary Sally Jewell has released a plan to protect the habitat of a struggling bird species from being destroyed by wildfire. The new firefighting strategy comes as western states work to avoid the sage grouse's classification as a threatened or endangered species. Experts say the restrictions that come with protecting the wide-ranging birds could damage the economies of the 11 western states where they're found, including, of course, Montana. Montana Governor's Office is chairing a study by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, a progressive policy think tank that recently analyzed the cost of higher education. Governor's Office spokesman Dave Parker said the news was good for Montana.
Montana was recently ranked best in the nation for keeping higher education affordable. We are ranked 50th out of 50 states, which in this case is a good thing because it means that our cost for higher education is lower than any other state in the nation.
Parker says Governor Bullock had a big role to play in keeping tuition low.
Governor Bullock, since he's been governor, has been committed to tuition freezes at our public colleges and universities in 2013, and again, just this last legislative session, a tuition increase is a tax increase on Montana families.
Commissioner of Higher Education Clayton Christian commented, saying, quote, with industries in Montana seeking well-trained, employment-ready graduates, we're proud The Montana University system continues to offer affordable access to all the educational opportunities at our top quality institutions, end quote. 2 individuals from Spokane, Washington, a man and a woman, were taken into custody Monday night after allegedly stealing a car. Missoula Police Department Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
Officers were called to the 1000 block of Scott Street yesterday for the report of 2 suspicious persons near a vehicle in the 1000 block of Scott Street. When they arrived, they did encounter the 2 people, identified them, and learned that the car they were in had been reported stolen in the city of Spokane.
Welsh has more details about the suspects.
After some initial field investigation, the 2 people were placed under arrest in connection with the stolen vehicle. They are 41-year-old Jill Wandler and 40-year-old Heather Becker, both of Spokane.
Both appeared in Missoula Justice Court on Tuesday. The following appeared in the Missoulian Facebook page yesterday. Of course, this was referring to a story that was published and, of course, was picked up by the Associated Press regarding the Garden of Eden and Michael Burks suing the Southgate Mall over some various issues. Well, here's what it said in the Missoulian Facebook page yesterday. Quote, a recent forum question posted on the Missoulian's Facebook page contained errors. Intending to create a forum discussion, we asked the following questions. What do you think? Is the mall discriminating because the business is a Christian bookstore, or did the tenant not make payments on time or stay open during the required hours? Quoting, and that quote. Continuing the quote, the phrasing of the final question suggests that the mall's tenant, Michael Burks, and the Missoula Maulers Incorporated did not pay their rent on time or stay open during required hours. Burks says, however, he did make payments on time and was open during the required hours. Continuing the quote, we regret the confusion that the framing of this question created, end quote. Now, Burks told KGVO News yesterday that the Garden of Eden bookstore may have been vandalized over the weekend as one of their front display lights had been shattered, which he said may have been due to the story published by the Missoulian. Our news talk, by the way, a call to the Missoulian was not returned yesterday. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
A little breezy again as we head throughout the day, but should not be as windy as the past couple of days. With a high of right around 72 degrees this afternoon, chance for showers and thunderstorms for the rest of the week. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for KCI 13.